If you have your knees coming inwards when you're squatting down, if your knees are rotating outwards, if your heels are elevating, if your back is rounding. So there are a few imbalances happening here. So if you notice any of these things happening, you should certainly not add any load until you fix them first. So make sure that you practice with your body weight first, but when you are squatting, you want to keep your feet stable. Your knees are always following your feet as you are lowering your body down. Your back is straight, your core engaged, glutes engaged. But make sure to go as low as you can without sacrificing form. You can also use a stability ball against the wall or hold on to a heavy item in front of you to practice first. So you always want to start by using a chair or a bench. So the chair really helps to take the load off the lower back. So you can have a wider stance, you can have narrower stance. Just make sure that when you are squatting that your knees are always following your feet. You don't want to have your knees, for example, having a wider stance with your feet opened up, but then your knees are coming in. You always want to have your knees following your feet. So no matter what stance you choose, when you are squatting, of course, you want to keep your lats tight and down. Don't shrug your shoulders. Keep your core engaged. Keep your glutes engaged, and just focus on going down and then back up. So when you go down, don't collapse on the chair. Just keep everything nice and tight and coming back up and squeezing your glutes on the way up. So coming down and back up. So just kind of touching the chair and back up. So the integration exercises, I will be using a band. So, and depending on the type of band and the type of resistance as well, like the exercise may feel a little harder, but I'm gonna be using both bands. The great thing about doing this is that you get to train your glutes and your lats, which is very important when progressing through the squat, because when you're squatting, you're using your lats as well as your glutes. So it really pushes you into performing the exercise with good form without thinking too much that you're gonna fall backwards or any other details that could push you to compensate. So when you're squatting down, you can use the band for support. This is also a really great exercise to work on mobility. So you're going to pull the band into a row. I like to start both the squat and deadlift exercises by doing few repetitions of the hip hinge to get myself ready. This is a movement that incorporates mobility at the hips, stability at the knees, and the lower back. If you are not used to hinging, you'll notice that when you're squatting, your knees will go past your toes, which is a very common mistake I see at the gym all the time. You hinge by pulling your glutes backwards while keeping your back straight and letting your knees bend on their own as you progress through the movement. So from here, we are going to move to the squat, and I want you to stand nice and tall here. Breathe deeply and brace your core.
You can hold a wide or narrow stance, so if you are taller like me, you may find it more comfortable with a wider stance. It really doesn't matter how wide you go. The important thing is to have your knees and foot pointing in the same direction, so you don't want your knees caving in as you go down. So from here, you'll keep your back straight, start hinging at the hips, and lower down into the squat. You want to ensure you're not lifting your heels off the floor, and then your knees are not traveling past your toes again, and you do that by keeping your weight concentrated in your thighs and glutes. I'm going to be showing you a narrow stance here. You do not have to squat too low if you can't right now. Just go as parallel to the floor as possible. The important thing again is to keep your weight on your heels, your knees not past your feet, and your back straight. I want to show you a demo of the goblet squat here. I love this exercise because it will force you to do the movement correctly. It will help you keep your weight at the center and your back straight. As you come down, go as far as you comfortably can without hurting your form. I have spent years working on my hip mobility to be able to go far that low because my hips really lacked mobility, and because I'm a tall person, my back was always rounding. So take it slow, start with body weight or very light weight, and build your mobility and strength up one exercise at a time.